A record-breaking night at State Farm Arena as one of the biggest names in basketball came to the A. Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever taking on the Atlanta Dream in front of more than 17,600 fans.
Ever since she started playing basketball, Caitlin Clark has been breaking records left and right. Whether it's scoring, viewership, or contracts, she's done it all, broke every record imaginable. Now, she's continuing on that path by breaking an attendance record.
You know what the average attendance is when Caitlin Clark plays home or the road?
What?
15,300.
Wow.
Okay? 15,300.
Setting a record like this is to be expected when you all on your ODUN increase the women's NBA viewership by more than 100%.
Right there, look at this. Caitlin Clark gets 15,591 fans in attendance, 105% increase compared to the average game is 76.45. And to Angel Reese, it's only 10,000 people.
While it's true that Caitlin Clark still hasn't won anything on a team level, people still like watching her play more than ladies like Angel Reese.
What is the Nike contract with Caitlin Clark? Nike contract, $28 million is what the contract is. Okay? This is WNBA.
Sure, there might have not been that much hype about the Indiana Fever and Atlanta Dream matchup on the internet. However, in person, it's a completely different story. As reports were coming out, we could see that the fans were lining UP to see Caitlin Clark in action.
I'm outside State Farm Arena in Atlanta right now. In about a half hour, the Atlanta Dream are going to take on the Indiana Fever.
Interesting thing about this is that the arena the teams were playing at wasn't the usual place Atlanta Dream plays at.
They moved it to the nearby NBA arena. And get this, the game completely sold out, setting a franchise record with an astonishing 17,575 fans in attendance.
They moved the game to the home of the Atlanta Hawks. That's because the team owners were aware that the venue was going to be packed since Caitlin was coming into town. The game has sold a women's NBA in Georgia record 17,608 tickets for the Fever Dream matchup. That means Caitlin Clark has helped the women's NBA compete with its big brother for the first in history. The women's NBA and the NBA are not so distant in 2024.
I just spoke with fans who are lined up to be here. This is not the Atlanta Dream's usual venue. They chose State Farm Arena because it's going to be packed because of Caitlin Clark of the Indiana Fever.
Why are so many fans excited to see Caitlin? Is it because of her great three-point shooting, her spectacular dribbling, or is it because of her excellent passing? She is the league leader in assists, even though she's just a rookie. It's a combination of all of these, however. The fans are fully aware of how big of an impact Caitlin has had, not only on the women's NBA, but female sports as a whole.
Came to see Caitlin Clark tonight.
Oh, gotta watch number 22.
So I've been watching Caitlin for a couple of years, and since then I've dreamed about coming to a game. Caitlin! Caitlin!
And why is it there's so much support for Caitlin Clark?
Because she's the best. Well, I play basketball too, and she means a lot to me. I like her attitude. I think she's got good sportsmanship. She lets things roll off of her. She's just an all-around great player, and the logo threes.
And you know who had the previous record for attendance against the Atlanta Dream? Caitlin Clark. The first time she visited Georgia, earlier in the season, the team managed to set the first record. However, she shattered her own record.
I think a lot of these cities that we're still going to now is like kind of my second time, so kind of know what to expect, kind of know what the venue's like, but the crowds, like that's never something that gets old or something that you get used to. Like it's super fun for myself, and you know, every place is still really different and unique in their own way. Obviously, you know, we're just in Minnesota and now we're here in Atlanta, and the arenas are different. You know, I felt like the last time we were here there was like a lot of just basketball fans, like a lot of people that really appreciate the game and understand the game and wanted to support the game of basketball, especially women's basketball. So I expect the same, and for myself, like it's really fun getting to see young kids in your jersey or, you know, whoever it is, and, you know, trying to take some time to interact with them.
Basically, she's in the league of her own, but she's managed to stay pretty modest. Just look at her recent press conference, where when asked who the leader of the Fever was, Caitlin gave a surprising answer. She named Kelsey Mitchell her seasoned co-worker. Funny enough, Caitlin is able to perform great in these conditions. While these numbers of fans in attendance are unheard of in the women's NBA, for Caitlin, they're rookie numbers, no pun intended. Back in her college days, She played in front of more than 3 times the fans she played in front of in the women's NBA. And she was giving historic performances back then, dropping threes and triple doubles left and right. We've been speaking so much about the attendance, we forgot to talk about the actual game. How did the game go? It was a fantastic game, with the Fever taking a close 8-4-7-9 victory. Atlanta Dream really needed to win this game because they were half game out the final playoff spot. They trailed 18 at one point but managed to come back. Thankfully, following a masterful performance by the aforementioned Kelsey Mitchell, who dropped a season high of 29 points, the Indiana Fever was able to keep the lead and glide to their 14th win of the season. Now, the team has a 14-16 record. They're currently 3rd in the East and 7th in the league. As whole, the team has already been able to secure the highest win total in the past 8 years, the last time they were in the playoffs. In this game, Clark, while not the top scorer, played fantastic again. She put up 19 points, 7 rebounds along with 7 assists and 2 steals. Caitlin made history in more ways than one during the game as well. She also managed to hit 4 3-pointers, which brought her season total to 85. That tied the rookie record set by none other than Dream's Ryan Howard back on 2022. Caitlin Clark has quickly become one of the most polarizing figures in all female sports. She's the most controversial in the women's NBA by far. With a rookie season that has shattered records and drawn unprecedented attention to women's basketball, it's clear that Clark is more than just another talented player. More than 500,000 people have watched Caitlin Clark's rookie season in person. This is a record-breaking attendance for a women's NBA team. But Caitlin isn't good because she's getting people in the seats. She's great because she's been able to hop on one of the worst teams in the women's NBA, become a leader under a ton of pressure, and deliver awesome results. We've already mentioned that for the first time in nearly a decade, the Indiana Fever might make the playoffs. In the 4 seasons leading up to Caitlin coming to the women's NBA, the Fever only managed to have 30 wins. You read that correctly, less than 10 wins on average. Yet, with all this success, there's been a wave of resistance. Some of the league's veterans and established stars haven't been shy about expressing their displeasure with the spotlight on Clark. The pressure she faces isn't just from the fans and the media, but also from within her own league. Former players like Diana Taurasi, often considered the GOAT of women's basketball, warned that reality is coming for Clark before she even set foot in the women's NBA.
Reality is coming. There's levels to this thing. You're going to come with some grown women that have been playing professional basketball for a long time.
And now that she's here, it's clear that many aren't all that thrilled about her rise. Clark's rivalry with Angel Reese has only fueled the fire. The two have been compared constantly, with debates raging over who deserves the Rookie of the Year award. While Reese has her supporters, many argue that Clark's overall contribution to her team, especially given the Fever's previous struggles, makes her the clear choice. The impact of Caitlin Clark isn't easy to measure. That's why the experts have come up with a unique expression for it. You've definitely heard the term the Caitlin Clark effect. It has been used to describe the effect of her personality on sports. Caitlin's mere presence has been a marketing goldmine for different league officials. People literally started watching female basketball because of Caitlin. It's enough that you mention that she may be a part of your league, and you're guaranteed to get some media coverage. That's why different 3x3 leagues have mentioned Caitlin, despite the fact that she might never end up playing in those leagues in her life. The Fever's games have become must-see events, and the demand for tickets has skyrocketed. In Chicago, tickets for her upcoming game against Angel Reese and the Sky were selling for upwards of $150 on Ticketmaster, proof that Clark's allure extends far beyond her home games. Opponents are moving their matchups to larger venues, and ticket sales are breaking records. The Fever's July matchup against the defending champions, the Las Vegas Aces, pulled in 20,366 fans at T-Mobile Arena, the largest women's NBA crowd in 25 years. Meanwhile, a game against the New York Liberty set a new revenue record with $2 million in ticket sales.
So the Aces normally play their games at Mandalay Bay, 10,000 seats or so, but they moved tonight's game here to the Thomas and Mack, 20,000 fans here, and a lot of them here to see, you know who, the former Iowa player, now Indiana Fever star, Caitlin Clark. Where are you from?
St. George, Utah.
What makes you like Caitlin Clark?
Just her dedication to basketball and stuff.
She plays hard,
Yeah.
plays good. She takes a knock and keeps it, doesn't she? And keeps on rocking.
How she reads the court, she always knows where to pass, and her assists are good.
The marketing around Clark has been relentless, capitalizing on her star power to elevate the entire league. Clark has made the women's NBA cool, fresh, and must-watch entertainment. And as many of you know, the women's NBA has had a cloud of uncoolness around it for quite a while. There were many, and we do mean many times, the female and male athletes clashed and the league looked lost. Thanks to Clark, fans are starting to embrace the league. It's not just about basketball anymore, it's about being part of something bigger, a movement that's reshaping how the world views women's sports. And as Clark continues to set records, the hype only grows, pulling in fans who never thought they'd be part of the women's NBA audience. Olympic gold medalists like Simone Biles are attending her games, sharing their excitement online, and signaling a broader cultural shift where women's sports are not just respected but celebrated. Biles, after attending her first women's NBA game, tweeted, "Everyone watches women's sports, so happy to be able to go support. My first of many women's NBA games." Caitlin Clark is everywhere these days. Her highlights are on every sports channel and on every social media account, but with all of her buzzer beaters, highlight possess, and three-pointer celebrations, comes as some controversy. Simply put, that's the price of being in the limelight: jealousy. While some people are thinking that female players should be thanking Clark for what she's been able to do with the league, a lot of them aren't. Charles Barkley said it the best.
These girls getting ready to hit the lottery. This is a great time to be a woman in the WNBA. Caitlin, what she's done for the game the last couple of years, she is a shining star. I didn't think she was going to have to worry about all this petty nonsense that's going on. And it's really unfortunate because she's bringing so much notoriety to the game.
Whether it's debates about her on-court demeanor or comparisons to NBA legends, opinions on Clark are as polarized as they come. And let's be honest, you either love her or you're tired of hearing her name every other day. Fans are either all in, chanting her name and buying out arenas, or they're criticizing her every move on social media. It's not just about what she does with the ball, it's about how she carries herself. And that's got everyone talking. When she gave a courtside glare after draining a deep three, some saw it as swagger, others as cockiness. Yet, the buzz around Clark is undeniable. Caitlin's presence alone is what made women's NBA team owners move their teams from small, couple of thousand-seat courts to NBA arenas.